Welcome to all devotees. Now, today we continuing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 8. Questions by King Parīkṣit Maharaj. And we try to understand Shlok Cramanka 7 and 8. In this shloka, we try to understand which questions asking Parīkṣit Maharaj to Shukdev Goswami that questions, knowledge, and the transcendental body of the Lord. We get the information about these 3 points. Try to start with. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om
Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Hare Krishna. Shlok Cramanka 7 and 8. Yat adhatumata brahman
Yat adhatumata Brahman
देह आरंभ अस्य धातुभिः
Deha Arambhasya Dhatubhihi
यदृच्छया हेतुना वा
Yat Ruchaya Hetuna Va
भवन्तो जानते यथा
Bhavantah Janate Yatha
आसीत् यत् उदरात् पद्मम्
Asit Yad Udarat Padmam
लोक संस्थान अलक्षणम्
Loka Sanstana
लक्षणम्
Lakshanam
यावन् अयन् वै पुरुषः
यावान अयम वै पुरुषः
यत्ता अवयवैः पृथक्
यत्ता अव्यवैः पृथक्
तावान् असौ इति प्रोक्तः
तावान् असौ इति प्रोक्तः
संस्था अवयववान् इव
संस्था अवयवावन इव
यत् अधातुमतः ब्राह्मण
यत् अधातु मतः ब्रह्मन्
देह आरंभ अस्य धातुभिः
देह आरम्भस्य धातुभिः
यदृच्छया हेतुना वा
यत्रुच्छया हेतुना वा
भवन्तः जानते यथा
भवन्तः जानते यथा
आसीत् यत् उदरात् पद्मम्
आसीत् यत् उदरात् पद्मम्
लोक संस्थान लक्षणम्
लोक संस्थान अलक्षणम्
यावान् अयं वै पुरुषः
यावान् अयं वै पुरुषः
यत्ता अवयवैः पृथक्
यत्ता व्यवहि पृथक्
तावान् असौ इति प्रोक्तः
तावन् असौ वै इति प्रोक्तः
संस्था अवयववान् इव
संस्था अव्यवान इव
यत् अधातुमतः ब्रह्मण देह आरंभ अस्य धातुभिः यदृच्छया हेतुना वा भवन्तः जानते यथा आसीत् यत् उदरात् पद्मम् लोक संस्थान लक्षणम् यावान् अयं वै पुरुषः यत्ता अवयवैः पृथक् तावान् असौ इति प्रोक्तः संस्था अवयववान् इव.
हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण.
यद्धातु
अधातु
यत् अधातु मतः ब्रह्मन् देह आरम्भस्य धातुभिः यत्रुच्छया हेतुना भवन्तः जानते यथा आसीत् यत् उदरात् पद्मं लोकसंस्थानलक्षणं यावान् अयं वै पुरुषः यत्ता व्यवहि पृथक्ः तावान् असौ इति प्रोक्तः संस्था अव्यवान इव.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Lord Brahmana, the transcendental spirit soul is different from the material body. Does he acquire the body accidentally or by some cause? Will you kindly explain this, for it is known to you. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whose abdomen the lotus stem sprouted, is possessed of a gigantic body according to his own caliber and measurement, then what is the specific difference between the body of the Lord and those of common living entities? But Mahārāja Parīkṣit, being a typical devotee, is not only satisfied by confirming the importance of hearing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from the representative of Brahmaji by disciplic succession, but he is still more anxious to establish the philosophical basis of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the science of Supreme Personality of Godhead and as such, all questions that may arise in the mind of uh, a serious student must be cleared by the statements of the authority. A person on the path of devotional service may inquire from his spiritual master all about the spiritual position of God and the living being from the Bhagavad Gita as well as from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It is known that qualitatively the Lord and the living beings are one. The living being in the conditioned state of the material existence is subjected to many transmigrations by continuous changing of the material body. But what are the causes of the material embodiment of the part and parcel of the Lord? Mahārāja Parīkṣit inquires about this very important matter for the benefit of all the classes of candidates on the path of self-realization and devotional service to the Lord. Indirectly, it is confirmed that the Supreme Being, the Lord, makes no such material changes of body. He is spiritually whole with no difference between his body and his soul. Unlike the conditioned soul, the liberated living beings who associate with the Lord in person are also exactly like the Lord. Only the conditioned souls awaiting liberation are subjected to change of bodies. How was the process first begun? In the process of devotional service, the first step is to take shelter of the spiritual master and then inquire from the spiritual master all about the process. This inquiry is essential for immunity to all kinds of offenses on the path of devotional service. Even if one is fixed in devotional service like Maharaj Parīkṣit, he must still inquire from the realized spiritual master all about this. In other words, the spiritual master must also be well versed and learned so that he may be able to answer all these inquiries from the devotees. Thus, one who is not well versed in the authorized scriptures and not able to answer all such relevant inquiries should not pose as a spiritual master for the matter of material gain. It is illegal to become a spiritual master if one is unable to deliver the disciple. One should note how Maharaj Parīkṣit intelligently put questions before his spiritual master for scientific understanding of the transcendental body of the Lord. It has been described in many places before this that the Lord assumed a gigantic body like that of Karnodaksha Vishnu, from whose hair pores innumerable universes have generated. The body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu is described as sprouting the lotus stem within which all the planets of the universe remain. And at the top of the stem is the lotus flower on which Lord Brahma is born. In the creation of the material world, the Supreme Lord undoubtedly assumed a gigantic body, and living entities also get bodies, being big or small, according to necessity. For example, an elephant gets a gigantic body according to its need, and so also an ant gets its body according to its needs. Similarly, if the personality of Godhead assumes a gigantic body to accommodate the universes or the planets of a particular universe, there is no difference in the principle of assuming or accepting a particular type of body in terms of necessity. A living being and the Lord cannot be distinguished simply by the difference in the magnitude of the body. So the answer depends on the specific significance of the body of the Lord as distinguished from the body of the common living being. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Am Sri Guroho Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sahadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminate Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा। Today we continuing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 8, questions by King Parīkṣit, and try to understand Shloka Kramanka 7 and 8. In Shloka Kramanka 7, uh, Parīkṣit Maharaj asking Sukdev Goswami, here they were used O Dhatumata Brahman, O learned Brahmana, please tell me how the body acquire accidentally or some cause. What is the cause behind he got the, because spirit soul is different from the material body. You told spirit soul is different from the material body. How he got here Parikshit Maharaj, being a typical devotee that Prabhupada described in purport, and he is not satisfied, confirming the importance of hearing and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He asking so many uh, here, Prabhupada, so many nicely described in these shlokas. And another next shloka, the he told to Parikshit, Maharaj told to Sukdev Goswami, if the uh, abdomen of the Supreme Personality stem sprouted, and at the end of that stem, Brahmaji, uh, Brahmaji uh, birth there, and he don't know, Brahmaji unable to see. He saw only uh, Brahma's form, and he saw all direction, and then he heard two letter ta and pan, then he took the tapa. Here they're describing about the Karnadokshay Vishnu, Garbhodokshay Vishnu, and then they told a living being and the Lord cannot be distinguished simply by the difference in the magnitude of the body. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely again. Hare Krishna. कौन छोड़ के गए एक मिनट?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So what we understand is about questions, about knowledge, and about the transcendental body of Lord Sri Krishna. So very basically, what Parikshit Maharaj has been trying to do is making Shukdev Goswami ji encouraged to answer as much as possible and as in detail as possible about Krishna. So having encouraged him to do a Harikatha, he has now started questioning, and his questions till now have been about Jiva, that is living being, and Krishna, the supreme being. So in that same sequence, he's asking this particular question: how Krishna is different from this material body? How Krishna and living being, they are different from each other? And how is this body acquired? Is it accidental, or is it some reason behind it? So let us first understand about this need for questioning, need for inquiry, need for guidance. Now, Parikshit Maharaj, we know, he's already an advanced devotee. He's the one who, even before acquiring a material body outside the mother's womb, was able to see Krishna. And that is why his name Parīkṣit, one who is searching for Krishna everywhere. So in spite of being an advanced devotee, he's setting the example of asking deep and relevant questions. Now, it is very important to understand that these questions are not for his benefit, they are for us. Spiritual life thrives on inquiry. And Bhagavatam is the science of Krishna. And like any science, doubts must be cleared by authoritative statements. So, a disciple on the path of devotion must approach a bona fide spiritual master, take shelter, and ask questions about the relationship between God and the living being. Without this inquiry, one remains vulnerable to offenses and misconceptions. The Guru, therefore, must be well versed in authorized scriptures to provide proper answers. And one who lacks such qualification should not pose as a spiritual master for material gain. And that is the reason it will be coming in subsequent shlokas as well. Why the 7-day Bhagavad Katha has been denounced by Srila Prabhupada. Because the preacher there is doing the Katha for some material objective. And so the real message is never transmitted. And that is why this statement here that one who lacks a qualification should not pose as a spiritual master. Otherwise, we, the conditioned souls, will remain conditioned forever. We can never expect to be a liberated soul. So, as we know, there are these two categories of perfected souls, the Nitya-siddhas, who are the eternal associates who never forget Krishna, and the Sādhana-siddhas, souls who have forgotten Krishna but revive their original consciousness through sadhana, through devotional practice. So, how is it that this forgetfulness is being cured? The answer is hearing, Shravanam. As soon as one hears about Krishna, even by chance, the Lord within the heart immediately helps. Now, who is he? He is Paramatma. So, just as contact with a long lost family member rekindles forgotten affection, hearing Krishna Katha awakens our eternal relationship with him. The reason being Paramatma. And the process, therefore, is very simple constant hearing, chanting, and seva, service. This keeps one purified. This keeps us free from sinful reactions. And once we are cleansed through initiation and regulated devotional life, one must maintain that purity by staying fixed in Krishna consciousness. So, liberation or mukti is not a change of form, but a change of consciousness, realizing I am the eternal servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarup hai Nitera Krishna Das. So, this medicine for Bhava Roga, for material life, is like a fever of sense gratification. And the cure is this Bhava Aushadhi, the chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Unlike bitter medicines, the holy name is both curative and pleasing. Children, philosophers, ordinary people, everyone alike can relish it. In fact, even conditioned souls are advised to chant Hare Krishna because through this process they gradually become purified. And the day comes when the chanting becomes the natural expression of this liberated soul. And those who engage in violence, bad. Whether it is against animals or against themselves, they can never taste this nectar of holy name. And hence the prohibition on meat eating. One must be non-violent, humble, sincere to access the glories of the holy name. And that is why Krishna is so merciful He showers so much of mercy on us. If you go through Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, so today I'm assigning a homework to all of you that we have to read the Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, especially verse 30, 31, and 32. Api cheta sudurachara bhajate mam ananya bhag sadhu eva samantavya samyak vasito hi sa. Very important shloka. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he should be considered saintly because he is properly situated in determination. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashva shanti nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi na me bhakta pranashyati. Look at Krishna, he is so merciful. He is telling Arjuna, he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace, O son of Kunti. Declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Mam hi partha vyapashtitya pisyu papayoneya Sriya Vaishya tatha Shudratya api yanti param gati. O son of Prutha, those who take shelter in me, though they may be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas and Shudras, can attain the supreme destination. So even if a devotee accidentally falls, he is still to be considered saintly because he quickly becomes rectified. The Lord boldly is declaring his devotee never perishes. And everyone is eligible for supreme destination by taking shelter of Krishna. But then, careful. These verses are not license for hypocrisy. Premeditated fall downs, rationalizations, arrogance, they in fact only invite Maya's creep. We must always remain humble, follow regulative principles, never stop chanting. Even amidst weakness, chanting must continue with guidance from senior devotees. And that is why these questions by Parīkṣit Maharaj, they are for our benefit. So after inquiring about this difference between souls, he is inquiring about Kṛṣṇa. That whatever is this gigantic body of Kṛṣṇa from whose abdomen the lotus stem sprouted, is that body his own caliber and measurement? Then what is the difference between body of Lord and that of common beings? Now, Parīkṣit Maharaj is asking this difference between the bodies. After all, both Kṛṣṇa and Jiva assume bodies of various sizes according to necessity. Elephant has a massive body and has a tiny one. Karnodakshya Vishnu assumes the universal form. Countless universes emerges from it. So what is the difference? The difference is crucial. Our bodies are coverings subject to karma and change. Krishna's body is absolute, non-different from his soul. His senses are interchangeable, his expansion is unlimited, and his form complete. So while we are entangled by reactions of our activities, the Lord creates yet another, remains aloof. So rains are causing vegetation, but are not responsible for what grows. The Lord similarly provides facilities, but is never entangled. So Krishna is personal. The impersonal conceptions are completely wrong. Modern thinkers like Einstein, they may be brilliant in material science, but they faltered in spiritual vision because he denied a personal God involved with human fate. But Bhagavad Gita 4.14 and 3.22 and even Bhagavatam clearly declare the Lord is supreme controller above karma. Yet he is always caring for everyone. And that is what is most important to understand. If you see Bhagavad Gita, he clearly says, "Na mam karmani limpanti, na me karma phale spruha, iti mam ya abhijanati, karma bhi na badhyate." What other proof do we need for it? But if we still remain envious, if we still disregard, then we are in for a problem. ये तु एतत् अभिसूयन्ते न अनुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम् सर्वज्ञान विगूढ़ान्तान् विद्धि नष्टान् चेतसः. Those who out of envy disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. So Krishna may meditate on himself because he is complete and absolute. We, however, must meditate on him, not on ourselves. Our bodies are designations. His body is identical with himself. So these two shlokas, if you look at the essence, the conclusion, the very first fact comes out is we should always ask questions. In fact, even Krishna advises Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that he should be always asking questions. And for that, he is recommended that he should approach a guru. He should completely surrender to the guru. And having completely surrendered to the guru, he should ask questions of him. 4th chapter, 34th shloka is very, very important from that angle. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadyakshanti te jnanam dyaninah tattvadarshina. Second point is understand the soul's nature. We are servants of Krishna meant to revive our eternal relationship through hearing and chanting. Thirdly, recognize the Lord's transcendental form. Unlike us, his body is eternal, spiritual, and absolute. Fourth, accept the mercy of the holy name, the pleasing medicine that cures the disease of birth and death. And fifth, stay humble and cautious. Very important that we always remain humble, never misuse Krishna's mercy, cling to chanting and service. So by faithfully hearing Bhagavatam daily, we keep our hearts pure, avoid misconceptions, move steadily towards our ultimate destination, going back home, back to Godhead. Hare